Stop thinking that being a good guy who is always available is the key to winning her heart, because the reality is that women do not fall for what you do for them. They fall for how you make them feel, and specifically, how you make them feel when you are not there. Most men operate under the delusion that more is better. More texts, more flowers, more compliments, and more presents. But they fail to realize that attraction is not a linear equation where you add effort to get a result. Attraction is a psychological game of pressure and release. And if you never release the pressure by stepping away, she never has the opportunity to feel the weight of your absence. You have to understand that we as women do not crave attention. We crave tension. And tension is only built in the space between two people. When you are constantly in her face or at the top of her inbox, you are effectively suffocating the very thing you want to grow. Think about it like oxygen to a fire. If you pack the wood too tightly, the flame cannot breathe, and it will eventually flicker out, no matter how high the quality of the wood is. You are providing the wood, but you are denying the oxygen. The most powerful tool in your entire arsenal is your ability to be gone, to be occupied, and to be genuinely focused on a world that does not have her at the center of it. This isn't about some childish game of waiting 3 hours to text back just to seem busy. It is about actually being busy with a life that commands your respect and attention. When a man has a mission that matters more to him than a woman's validation, he becomes an enigma that she wants to solve. We notice when you are not waiting for us. We notice when your energy is directed toward a goal, a craft, or a brotherhood, rather than constantly orbiting our lives. That independence is a magnet because it suggests that you are high value and that your time is a limited resource. In economics, value is determined by scarcity, and the same rule applies to your presence in a woman's life. If you are always there, you are a commodity like air or water. But if your presence is a reward for her own investment in you, then you become a luxury. I remember a specific situation with a guy who was objectively perfect on paper. He was kind, he was successful, and he was always checking in on me. But I felt absolutely nothing for him because there was no mystery left to uncover. He had laid all his cards on the table from day one, and he was so available that I felt like I was being chased by a golden retriever. Contrast that with a man who was direct when he was with me, but completely silent when he was working on his business. When we were together, he was 100% present, but when he left, he was gone. He didn't text me good morning or good night every single day, and that silence created a vacuum. In that vacuum, my mind began to fill in the blanks. I wondered what he was doing. I wondered if he was thinking about me, and I found myself checking my phone, not because I was bored, but because I was seeking the hit of dopamine that came from his rare communication. That is the secret of the emotional mechanic of attraction. You must create emotional peaks and valleys. A flat line of constant kindness and availability is the fastest way to the friend zone or the boredom zone. You want to provide high-intensity presence when you are together, followed by high-intensity absence when you are apart. This creates a rhythm that keeps her psychologically engaged. Think of it as the Zeigarnik effect, which is a psychological phenomenon stating that people remember uncompleted or interrupted tasks better than completed ones. When you leave a conversation at its peak, or when you end a date while the energy is still high, you are leaving an uncompleted task in her brain. She will spend the next several hours or days trying to mentally finish that interaction, which means she is thinking about you. If you stay until the conversation runs dry and the energy dips, you have completed the task, and she can successfully file you away and stop thinking about you. This is why the 7 truths I am about to give you are so vital for you to internalize. Truth number 1 is that scarcity creates value. If she can have you whenever she wants, she will eventually not want you at all. You must protect your time and treat it as your most precious asset. Truth number 2 is that women are more attracted to men whose feelings are unclear. If she knows exactly where she stands every second of the day, there is no challenge, and without challenge, there is no growth of desire. Truth number 3 is that your life must be the main event. She should feel like she is a guest star in your blockbuster movie, not the director of your documentary. Truth number 4 is the power of the sensory anchor. When you are together, be so impactful through your scent, your touch, and your eye contact that when you leave, the physical environment feels empty without you. Truth number 5 is that silence is a language. Most men are terrified of silence, so they fill it with nervous chatter or constant texting. A man who is comfortable with silence is a man who is comfortable with himself. Truth number 6 is that you must be willing to walk away. The moment she feels that you are afraid to lose her is the moment you lose her respect. Truth number 7 is that her imagination is a more powerful tool for attraction than anything you can actually say. Give her the space to imagine your life without her, and she will quickly decide she wants to be a part of it. You have to stop being the guy who provides a service and start being the guy who provides an experience. An experience is something that lingers in the mind long after the event is over. If you want her to miss you, you have to give her something to miss. And that something is the version of you that is confident, grounded, and unapologetically focused on your own path. When you step into your power as a man who doesn't need her, she will feel the shift in the atmosphere. She will notice that you are no longer seeking her approval, and that shift is what triggers the primal instinct to chase. Women are designed to seek out strength and stability, and nothing says strength like a man who can stand alone. Absence isn't about being mean, it is about being busy. It is about having such a high level of self-respect that you don't have time to be a secondary character in someone else's life. When you implement these strategies, you aren't just manipulating a situation, you are transforming your own character. You are becoming the kind of man that women naturally want to be around, and more importantly, the kind of man that women are afraid to lose. This is the difference between being a fan and being the star. Fans wait in line for attention, but the star is the one who moves on to the next show. Be the star of your own life, and watch how the world, including the women in it, begins to treat you differently. The psychological mechanics of longing are simple, but they require the discipline to step back when every instinct tells you to lean in. If you can master your own impulses and lean into the power of absence, you will become an unforgettable presence in her mind. You will find that she starts reaching out more, she starts asking more questions, and she starts showing a level of investment that you never thought possible. This is because you have finally given her the one thing she needs to fall for you, and that is the space to actually miss you. Stop filling the void and start letting the void do the work for you. Attraction is a dance of shadows and light, and if you are always shining the brightest light directly on her, you are blinding her to the beauty of the shadow. Let the shadow grow. Let the curiosity build. Let her wonder. That is where the magic happens, and that is how you build a connection that isn't just a fleeting moment, but a deep and lasting desire that keeps her coming back for more every single time you decide to reappear.